This is a huge and emotional day for the 40,000 Australians of Ukrainian ancestry. Important for us all. Today is Ukraine's Independence Day, to celebrate when it was finally freed again from the Soviet Union 31 years ago. And by coincidence, it's also the day 6 months ago that Russia invaded Ukraine to make it Russian again. Now, Russia thought that would all be over in days. It planned a victory parade in Ukraine's capital for March 7. Instead, Russian tanks are in Kiev today, that's right, except they are burned or captured ones that Ukraine has dragged in to celebrate how magnificently they've resisted the much bigger Russian army, which is stalemated to the east and the south. Joining me from the big Ukrainian Independence Day commemoration in Melbourne is the Ukrainian ambassador, Vasyl Myroshnychenko. Ambassador, thank you so much for your time. How do you feel today?
Look, I feel exhausted, but I still stay motivated and positive. It's a very important day for us. It's the 31st anniversary of Ukraine's independence. I wish we celebrated it in a different way, but the Russians have invaded us, and it's been 6 months. We've been fighting. We've demonstrated our resilience, and Ukraine is united as never before. We are united in our desire to defeat the Russian troops in Ukraine, to repel the Russians. And being here as a wartime ambassador in Australia is, in a way, I'm lucky, because I see so much support coming from many people, from the government, from regional governments, from municipalities, from just private citizens who want to help. And just today, for instance, we're in Melbourne, and there is a fundraising dinner that I'm attending now. It's taking place in Melbourne right now. And we hope to raise some money, to send money to Ukraine, to help rebuild the hospitals, to help rebuild the schools and some of the critical utilities, which are instrumental to let people come back to the houses and to the towns they have left.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? The world thought you'd actually crumble in days. It wasn't just Russia. I mean, you even had US President Joe Biden offering your president just 2 days after the invasion started, to fly him to safety, and was famously told, "I need ammunition, not a ride." That's a phrase that's going to live in history. Why do you think Ukrainians have fought like many Western countries thought they wouldn't and shouldn't? In some cases, they shouldn't, that it was smarter to actually give in?
Look, Russians predicted they would take over Kyiv in 3 days. And they plan to stage a big military parade on the 9th of May. And now on Ukraine's Independence Day, we are exhibiting the destroyed Russian tanks on Khrushchev. And I think Vladimir Putin has underestimated the willingness of people to fight, the willingness to fight for our identity, for our state, for our culture. This is something that Russians want to destroy. As you can see, wherever they occupy, and they now occupy 20% of Ukraine's territory, they commit heinous war crimes. And I think our resilience comes from the fact that we are all there. We understand that it's an existential war for us, because if Russians stop fighting, it's the end of the war. If we stop fighting, it's the end of Ukraine. And it's not about the land that they need. They actually want to take over entire Ukraine, to destroy our sovereignty, and to revive the Soviet Union.
I can't help but thinking there's an element of the Cossack tradition as well in your country. One of the most famous paintings being the reply of the Cossacks to the demands of, I think, the Turks to surrender. Why is this fight our fight too? Because we got to know this. You are not going to win if the world stops supporting you. The world has to know that this is their fight as well. Why do you think it is?
Look, it's so important for the developed and democratic world to unite to help Ukraine, because the way this war is going to play out, the ramifications are global. We can already feel the pain of the surging prices for commodities, surging prices for energy and petrol, volatility on the global markets. And we can stop it only once we help Ukraine repel the Russians. Fell from our territory, because this is what is all causing that. The food crisis is caused by the Russian invasion. The energy crisis is also caused by the same invasion. And we should be very careful, because if Russia wins in Ukraine, it will embolden other authoritarian leaders in the Middle East and in the Pacific to change borders by force. I think it's so important to continue supporting Ukraine, and Australia is making a vital investment, which is true to the Australian tradition of a fair go.
Absolutely. Ambassador Vasyl Myroshnychenko, thank you so much indeed for your time, and I'm wearing support for your country right in the studio, so all the best to you and your country.